So we know we've got 4 lives, and we know 1 heart already exists. So we want to create 3 more hearts. Now we could duplicate this create instance block so that it does this 3 times. But that's kind of a waste. A better way of doing this is using a block from control flow called repeat 10 times. We can use that and make this repeat 3 times. So this is called a loop, and it will repeat whatever commands are inside it, the specified amount of times. Now let's keep track of all our hearts by putting them in a list. We'll go to variables and create a new variable, and this will be called our list of hearts, and its type will be a list. And we'll grab set list of hearts 2, put that underneath our repeat block. And the reason why we're using a list is it makes it really easy for us to keep track of multiple objects if they're all in a single list. And we know every heart has that heart tag because they have a script on them that says add tag heart when I'm created. So we'll populate this list based on the tags on those hearts. So if we go to sensing and under tagging, we can get all children by tag. Connect that into our list block. And get all children means get every object, and the tag is heart. Okay, so we've created these hearts, but they're not going to appear on our screen yet. Let's create a new function from functions, drag this out, do something, and let's call this position hearts. So it will position them on our screen so we can see them. And we'll run our position hearts function after we've set up our hearts. So what we want our position hearts function to do is to find each heart in that list, and then for each heart in that list, position it next to its neighbor. So the first heart will get positioned in the corner of the screen, the second heart will get positioned across from that first heart, the third heart will get positioned across from the second heart, etc. Now to repeat commands based on items in a list, we have something called a for loop, which is from control flow. And it's control flow under loops for each item j in list. So we'll drag that out and put it in position hearts. And j is a temporary variable name for the particular item in the list that we're on. Okay, so we need to connect a list into this for loop. So we'll go to variables and grab our list of hearts, connect that in there. So for each item in our list of hearts, what do we want to do? Well, we want to position them. So let's go to transform and grab set x position of myself to 0. And we don't want to be positioning myself, the player. We actually want to be positioning the particular item in that list of hearts, and it'll do it for each item. So we want to get this j variable. We can right click on it and then click create j, and it'll give us that variable which refers to each object in that list. So for the first item in the list, it's setting the position of that item to 0. Now we should probably rename j here. It's not the most informative name. Let's click on j there and rename that to heart. So for each heart in the list of hearts, set the position of heart to, and we don't want it to go to 0. We want it to go to wherever the camera is, and then let's bump it across a little bit so it's not hard up against the edge. So we'll say camera x plus 10. So we'll go to operators and grab a plus block. From looks, we want camera x, and then we can put a 10 in here. And then we want to do the same thing for the y position, so we can duplicate our set x position block. Set the y position of the heart to camera y plus 10. And then remember, as we move around, we'll need to keep positioning the hearts on the camera. So we will run our position hearts function constantly. Let's go to functions and grab position hearts, and we can put that underneath play correct animations. Let's play that now. Now you might see it lagging a little bit, kind of juddering there or vibrating. The reason for that is the camera is positioning constantly, but then the object is also constantly positioning, and one's happening before the other. So something we could do really quickly here is actually do from our constantly loop, do our position hearts and our position text field, do those in another constantly loop, but we'll make that a post constantly loop. So if we go to events, grab constantly, change that to post constantly, and then position your text field and position your hearts post constantly, which will happen after the constantly loop runs, but before the next constantly loop runs. So if we play it, and so now when we run around, the hearts and the text field position nicely.